Hello, hello. It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Please let me know what you think of our new musical accompaniment, and if you can hear it or not. I don't know if I set it too low. I can't hear it on my end because of the settings, so you'll have to tell me if it sounds good. It's called Romantic from bensound.org. The song is a perfect fit for the story that we're reading today. Boy, oh boy. Hello, Queen, Cygnus, Alexis. Welcome, folks. We'll give it a few minutes to let people hop in. Raise it a little bit. Alright, let's try there. Let me know how that is. Okay, you can't really hear anything? Yeah, let me know how that does. Adjust my chair. Ugh. You should be hearing some light piano. Goodness. I just got home from running errands and oh boy, that was something. Now that we've moved, we live far away from everything. That's fun. Well, my Titus figure just took a dive off the shelf. He decided that he hadn't even heard anything of the story yet, and he knew it was too much. He was ready to end it all, so he doesn't have to listen to this. I'm so sorry, Titus. Oh, man. So, the history of this story. This is the second fanfic I ever wrote, if I am remembering correctly. It was actually written a week after my birthday, it looks like. In 2007. It was around the time, it must have been close after Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. I'm actually going to double check that because I'm not certain. Kingdom Hearts 2. I was really obsessed with Kingdom Hearts in those days, obviously. It was my favorite video game. It was the first one, was one of the first I had ever played. Is that Xehanort? You're kind of right. A little. It's a version of him that is Xemnas. Oh no, it's a 2005 role-playing game. I wonder if I played the series late. Because I started writing fanfic for it in 2006 and 7. I must have just gotten the games. So it was close to when they'd come out, but I had not been on the bandwagon from the beginning. Yeah, Xehanort's the old one, but all the people with silver hair are like versions of him. Xemnas is the nobody, which for non-Kingdom Hearts fans means he has no heart and he doesn't feel things. Which makes him perfect for a romance story, right? So it was a series of one-shots. This story was the first in a series of one-shots, which in fanfic terms means a bunch of short stories that are interconnected. And the idea was that the nobodies, the having no heart thing was cured through love. That since, you know, they fell in love and that meant that they were better now, apparently. That fixed everything. For some reason the chat is alive and folks are here, but YouTube is telling me no one's here because YouTube likes to gaslight me. It's its favorite hobby. I feel like we'll give it at least another minute or two, see if folks hop in. But yeah, I was 2007, I was like 11 or 12. It's really bad. It's only the second fanfic I ever wrote. It's not a romance, really, like I thought it was. It's what I thought romance was, but it doesn't really have any of the typical staples of it at all. It's not as horrifying as the last romantic story we read was. It's more kind of stupefying because it's just not there. It's just not romantic at all. Oh, hey Surfin, hey Zako. Don't get in trouble I almost said school. Don't get in trouble at work. Come now, I don't want to get you in trouble. This will always be here later for your horror and enjoyment. I think this one might be a little shorter than last week's. I don't actually know. It's only 4,000 words. This is probably the shortest one we've read. But yes, it will be something. Oh boy. Maybe if it ends up really short, I might glance at the other one-shots and we can not read them maybe, but discuss the horribleness that's in them. There's a, I remember that there's one for each character in the organization, which the organization's a group of 13 bad guys in Kingdom Hearts, and each member got their own OC, and I remember that the fourth one was my take on mental illness at 12, and boy, oh boy, was it probably bad. Oh man, it was probably not good. And I remember I also had a character that was in a wheelchair, and boy, oh boy, oh no. Oh no. I mean, Also, just the fact that I think a lot of these characters were probably like 17, 18, which to me at the time was super old, but definitely is not old enough to be romancing whatever the fuck age he is. Anyway. Welcome, BlizzStar, E.T., Lobsel, everybody else hopping in. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We'll stop putting it off. Let me know what you think about the music, if it is good, bad, too loud, too quiet, you know. And I will get us started. Okay. The intro to this story literally says, Chapter 1, Chapter 1, and then a space, and then 001, colon, and in all caps, Xemnas, comma, the superior. And then another space, and in italics, the lilies in the garden square. Which means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. That's not even what I called it. I called it the newly blossomed lily. What is the lilies in the garden square? Is that the caption? I don't know. Hey, Marlboro. Hey, Rendez. Alright, I can't see where I marked some stuff on this story because the mic's in the way. Thank you, Mike. You're useless. Alright, let's adjust this. There we go. So, Lily K. Jefferson, the second, mind you, never took herself as a squeamish person. I don't know where she took herself to, but never to squeamish. True, she was not the bravest woman this side of Sunset Hill, but Lily always took pride in being able to help the neighborhood children with bruises and scrapes without even flinching. I would hope so. Whether it was pulling shards of glass from little Sarah's palm, or even that nasty incident when Cypher took a bad fall and his wrist came out of place. Can a wrist come out of place? I know your shoulder can come out of place. Can a wrist do that? Lord knows what the rash boy was doing, but whatever it was required a trash can lid, train tracks, and a blindfold, and it didn't end well. So when Lily came across a man moaning forlornly in an alley, she thought she would be able to patch him up and take care of the poor fellow. She was very wrong. Here, Jeff offered, passing the trash can back to his sister. The pale-faced girl proceeded to vomit into it for the third time. Jeff Gaylord Jefferson, the fifth, just so you know, was a doctor of the highest regard and one of the most renowned in all Twilight Town. As soon as his sister had called, gasping and choking between words, saying something about a grotesque sight and how could anyone, he rushed to Lily's old, beaten apartment on Sunset Hill. Taking in slow, deep breaths, Lily tiredly looked at her brother. Before she could say a word, Jeff answered her. He will be all right. His wounds are terrible. I suggest he stay here for at least a month, maybe 2, and I will visit him every Saturday. But I have to go back to the hospital. Nodding her understanding, Lily leaned forward, tired and sick. Why, if he's this bad off, did they not bring him to the hospital? Casting a concerned glance to his sister, and then to the back room where the guests slept, Jeff let out a sigh and stroked his hair back. What, like that? Well, bye. Lily waved behind her, absent-mindedly, and with a small grin, Jeff ruffled her hair. With one last, see you, Lily, Jeff was out the door. For those who don't remember, weren't here for the auction that week or two ago, The reason that character is named that way, well, really, let's take this all apart. There are multiple things I wrote in here as jokes that just aren't funny, like the full names and the second and the fifth. I thought that was like, oh, it's so funny. It's not. And then the character named Jeff Jefferson, I thought that was funny, and the fact that his middle name is Gaylord, also not funny. But the reason I named him Jeff Gaylord was because my brother is named Jeff, and I didn't like him, so I was making fun of him in a fanfic that he'd never read. So, yeah, that was something. Lily K. Jefferson was a tall girl of almost 5'9", 5'8 7/10 to be precise, and was rather broad shoulder for her gender and age. Not shouldered, broad shoulder. For her gender and age. Barely pushing 24. Barely pushing 24. The girl had to duck to enter her own kitchen. But her personality and her looks were quite the opposite. Opposite of what? I guess... Okay, I don't know. While she seemed rather intimidating, Lily was meeker than a mouse. She was a kind, motherly soul, but only the neighborhood children had ever spoken to her, other than her brother, of course. No one in the entire town has ever spoken to her. Ever. Oh my god. Oh man. Hayner often dropped by to give Lily the daily papers. Many times, Lily would wake up in the morning and read Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday's paper just before noon on Wednesday. That's another joke that, one, isn't really a joke, and two, makes no sense. How do you get Anyway. And Pence came to help Lily with computer problems and to taste some of her delicious cookies. Every Tuesday, Alette would visit to be tutored in science, and Cypher often came to just bum about with his pals. You know, the teenagers that hang out at a 24-year-old's house just to bum about. Lily stood and wavered. She just do that? She stood and she wavered. Leaning against the kitchen door. So she's leaning on a door, just... Of course her head hit the doorframe. Of course. Of course her head hit the doorframe. But it actually helped wake her woozy mind. Bending down and stepping through the door, Lily walked into the living room, where the enigmatic man slept on the sofa bed. Ah, man. Hey, Delvin. Yes, we've only just begun. He was quite handsome, a rare breed in these parts, and sculpted like a god. When Jeff had first started cleaning up the man's wounds, Lily turned not just to look away from the gore and vomit into her bucket, but also so Jeff wouldn't catch her drooling over the man's masculinity. Again, to be so disgusted by the violent trauma this man endured physically that you vomit, but still also be hot enough that he's turning you on. That's a skill. That is a skill. That is a skill. Without bothering to check on the man, Lily stumbled into her shabby gray bedroom. Lily plopped into bed and smiled for the first time that night, ready to sleep whatever was left of the night away. Bing, bing! Snapping her eyes open, Lily watched angrily as her alarm clock flashed. Apparently, there was nothing of the night left. Number 5, OJ, scrap the mayo. Get me the morning special with fried eggs. Lily. The girl turned in mid-step, trying to balance 2 trays in her hands and keep her eyes open. Hey, Lily, when you're done there, table 2 needs refills and Sarah wants you on kitchen duty. A girl in a waitress outfit stepped out of the kitchen door, taking one of the trays from Lily and walking side by side with her. What is kitchen duty? I guess dishes, maybe? Hello, new folks. Welcome. How did you sleep? Hey, did you sleep last night? You don't look so well, the girl implored. From the look of her name tag, she was Susie. Kindly. Why would Lily not know the name of her own coworker? I just had a bad dream is all. Lily cut the conversation short. It seemed Susie didn't go down that easily. Really? Man, I've had some of the weirdest dreams recently. And this one last night, well, it was the hottest. Truly, Lily didn't care whether it was hotter than Hayner's temperament or Cypher's attitude or both combined. She just wanted to get off early and check on her patient. Setting down the tray, Lily heard the door open suddenly. "Hey, Lily!" Olette came running in, breathing hard. Pence came in after, but stopped mid-run when he saw a plate of toast and reached to grab a piece. Because obviously he's fat, and that's all the characterization he gets. Hayner ran in next, and with a yelp toppled into Pence. "There's something happening at your place. We found a strange man in your house and he went ballistic." These children are breaking into this woman's house. Lily's eyes went wide as she began taking off her apron. "Why? What happened?" "Well, Cypher happened." "Oh," setting her apron and hat on the banister because she doesn't take them home with her apparently. Lily called back to her boss that she was leaving and raced out the door with the children in tow. How was he alive? Xemnas was sure Sora had given him the final blow, but here he was, alive somehow. Well, as alive as he could be anyway. At least, that's what he thought. He became really confused when he felt a heartbeat. Oh, handsome wretch. Thank you very much. The thought is appreciated. He became really confused when he felt a heartbeat. That was when the hot-blooded youth had rushed in and drawn a weapon on him, yelling something about trespassing and fools. He had not the energy to fight. Or did he feel? Or did he feel like wasting it on such impertinence? Still, the rude youth had to be taught. Xemnas raised his hand and slowly tightened his fingers, ready to attack the boy. It was then another entourage ran in frantically. The entourage from the show I should have done that! I should have had the entourage run in. Damn it. Of course, Xemnas didn't care. He continued to power his energy into his palm, ready to attack. That was until the wide-eyed woman before him gasped, ran up, and wrapped herself around the man's palm? Wrapped herself around the man's palm. Oh, good lord. Kids, this man is my guest. Please do not just rush in without knowing all the facts. Also, maybe don't break into people's houses, don't attack strangers. Cypher and his entourage stood dumbfounded. At first, Lily thought it was because they had been in the wrong. She learned otherwise. Rye leaned over to Cypher and whispered, "Since when did Lily have a backbone?" "Out!" Even though her face was contorted in rage, her voice wasn't much louder. She just seemed irritated. Apparently this lady is just... She is just the most easygoing, quiet, nervous person. Like, nothing. No backbone, apparently, because I keep talking about how she's so tall and so meek. Oh, boy. It was because she never really got angry at anyone, that she just couldn't get angry at the kids. With boisterous laughter, they ran out, Cypher looking back one last time to give the woman a warm grin before running off. Xemnas was in an awkward position. At first, he was angered by the woman's intrusion. Then, when he noticed a likeness of her and some man on the wall nearby, he was confused. When he lastly realized that, in keeping him from launching his attack, the woman had accidentally planted his hand firmly in the valley of her breasts, he felt embarrassment. But above all, he was delighted beyond imagining because he could feel. Oh, God. Who are you? The woman gasped and turned to the man. So, how does she turn to him if they're already... Part of her felt awkward for clutching his hand, and the other wanted to clutch much more than that. Another part of her slapped the part that wanted more. The Moor glared and fought back, and the awkward part just altogether left the group. More attempts at 12-year-old humor. Oh, God. When that daydream was over, Lily really knocked herself in the head. Oh, God. Xemnas stared dumbfounded at the weird woman before him, who had just slapped herself. I'm Lily, Lily murmured, bowing her head in respect. She still had his hand in her hand, so when she bowed, his gloved fingers caressed her cheek. Immediately, she let him go, blushing. Xemnas took a moment to look at his hand, as if it tingled from her touch. What was happening to him? Was he, dare he ask, real? ... And you? Xemnas looked the girl over. He did not say a word. A little disappointed, Lily sighed. It was then she noticed blood on the sheets. Oh, Cypher, you little rascal. Ripping the sheets aside, Lily began taking off the bloody bandages to fix them. Oh, I see. Okay, so the sheets were on him. So he never stood up? So he was still laying in bed. Okay. As much as her stomach churned and twisted to do so, she began taking care of him. Xemnas stared incredulously. Could it be? Was he alive because of her? Without saying a word, Xemnas watched her move and help him. Soon enough, he fell asleep. This is how it was day after day. Xemnas would sleep as soon as Lily went to work, and then Lily would return to bandage him. Even though Xemnas never said a word to her, having someone around to talk to was refreshing. So he doesn't talk, she just talks at him, I guess. Oh, God. Lily never really talked to anyone except her brother. Remember, no one in town has ever said a word to her. So having Xemnas as a silent listener was like telling all her troubles to a beloved stuffed animal. When Lily thought of that, and she imagined Xemnas as a toy, she had to giggle. Xemnas had stared at her again. That was becoming a habit between them. This is horrifying. Why is she a loner? No reason! Why would I give backstory to a character? That would make too much sense. She just is. She's just shy and meek with no friends for no reason. She only hangs out with children who like to break into her house when she's at work. That's it. Oh my God. After serving him dinner, Lily would eat on the floor beside him, watching television? Why would she not get a chair? A tray? Sit on the other side of the bed? She's on the floor! Lily would often look back at him and see him staring at her. Even when she caught him in the act, he didn't look away. If she stared back, Xemnas would smirk, as if to say, yes, I'm following you with my eyes. How will you stop me? It was rather sexy. It was rather sexy. You've heard it here, folks. Being stared at silently is sexy. After dinner, Lily would do dishes and check Xemnas' wounds again, after helping him to the bathroom, which he did fine once he was there. He did fine once he was there. Lily would wait for him to finish so she could bath. There's no E on that word. Lily would wait for him to finish so she could bath. Xemnas would bathe once a week when Jeff came over. Oh God, how can you be attracted to this man? He stank. He stank. That was how it was. After 2 weeks of that, Xemnas could finally stand. Wow, you've gotten better. Lily smiled as Xemnas stood, though he was leaning on her a bit. Inside, Lily felt guilty that she didn't want him to be better. The sooner he got better, the sooner he would leave. Well, how do you feel? Lily only asked because she always did, thinking she'd never get an answer. Fine, Xemnas answered, sipping his tea as he sat on the front porch. As soon as Lily heard that word, her eyes bulged. Behind Xemnas' back, she hopped in place, spun in a circle, and did a silent cheer. but calmly she responded, "Well, that's fine." Oh, good lord. "Hey, Lily!" Walking down the street towards the market, Lily looked back to see Hayner skating towards him. Lily looked back to see Hayner skating towards him? He's skating towards himself? "Hey, where are your friends?" she asked sweetly. "I could ask you the same thing," Hayner grinned smugly. "Where's your buddy? I thought you were glued at the hip." Blushing, Lily reprimanded the boy. "That's rather rude of you, you know." Hayner smirked. "Isn't it true, though? You like him." Without even letting her respond, though Lily was already plotting many painful responses in her mind, Hayner continued, "About time, really. I was afraid you'd end up an old cat lady and never marry in her life." "I'm allergic," Lily chuckled. Hayner shrugged. "Dogs?" "Allergic." "Gerbils?" The two looked at one another and cracked up. More middle school humor! Random shit that makes no sense and is supposed to be funny just because it's random. Oh god. Xemnas couldn't believe he was doing this. He knew what they would think of him. The great superior, the enigmatic man. I don't know, is that an actual title he has? Because I capitalized it. Is he the enigmatic man, or is that just a name I gave him that sounds like he's a character from a 50s movie? Or Mass Effect. Xigbar would die laughing, with that smirk and that twinkle in his eyes. That could only mean I knew it'd happen eventually. He knew? What did he know? How could he have possibly thought, yes, Xemnas will fall in love one day? I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't understand. Xaldin would die of shock, and then, after pondering the idea for a second or two, would join Xigbar in taunting. Vexen would jump out of his skin, and Zexion would probably do the same. Syx would probably take it the worst and jump off a— Oh god, no! Oh no! I broke into the story! Oh god. Syx would probably take it the worst and jump off a cliff. Not that that would be bad. Just kidding, readers. I love the Berserker. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, God. Axel would only smirk and walk away, and Demyx would get all mushy. Luxord would laugh, but perhaps be kindest about it. And Marluxia and Larxene would be the worst. He couldn't truly tell what Roxas, Sora, would do. Well, his heart, he still couldn't believe it was true. And how? He could have chosen worse people. The woman wasn't that bad. She wasn't that bad. She's just taken care of you for free and washed you and fed you, and she's not that bad. Oh, God. But how the hell do you break that sort of news to a woman? "Hi, I'm the leader of the Nobodies, and I live in darkness. Want to go out with me?" This is so middle school. With a smirk, he knew what to do. As he stood and prepared, a voice in the back of his head spoke. "I'm proud of you, man, but what took so long? Seriously." Yeah, at this point, he's gonna start hearing voices in his head, and the voices are the other members of the organization, because I was an idiot. How long have they known each other? A couple weeks? It's, like, ridiculous. And they haven't spoken at all. Nothing. He has said one word. That's it. And she's falling in love with him, and he's falling in love with her. Lily strode into the kitchen with groceries to find a shock. The house was clean. The broken window was brand new, and all the glass shards were gone. There's been a broken window with glass shards on the floor for weeks? Wait a minute, there's been a broken window for weeks? What? The nasty rip in the carpet and the residue of vomit, which apparently she left there, was all repaired, and the overall mess and destruction was fixed. How? Why? Yeah, apparently my idea of something romantic to do for someone was to clean their house. I guess. Because again, I was 12 and I had no idea what romance was. I had no idea. The groceries fell onto the floor, and with them, the jar of jelly. With a smash, grape splattered on the clean floor. Grape, not grape jelly, just grape. The concept of grape spilled on the floor. Oh no, I'm so stupid. Oh gosh. Embarrassed and frantic, Lily bent down to begin trying to mop the mess. She turned to reach for a rag and couldn't find one. Well, duh, she was just in the hall reaching for one! Rag! Until a gloved hand reached down and handed one to her. Here. It was Xemnas. Did you do all this? Xemnas gulped. The truth or not? The truth was Xemnas had summoned Dusks to do the work. He was still much too weak to move very much, so he spent the day resting. But should he tell her the truth? Should he tell her what he is? No, you idiot. Get the girl to trust you first. Okay, get her to trust you by lying to her. Get her to trust you by lying to her. Anyway, that line's italicized. He's going to start having in his voice people speak to him, and each line, like for the character, has different things on it to make it clear who it is. Some of them are underlined, some of them are bolded, some of them are italicized, and because there's like 12 of these freaks, some of them are all three. Anyway. For once, the psycho is correct. Don't ruin your chances. Wait until the right time. Once she gets to know you, she won't care if you're a nobody or a werewolf like our pal here. Growl. Down, boy. Anyway, wait. Use those charms, superior man. The best part is, I never explain in this story or any of the ones that come after why he heard their voices. And I just kind of leave it at this. So either he was breaking down and pretending to hear the voices of his former dead friends, or he was haunted by them and I never addressed it. Now Xemnas had questioned his sanity before, but never had he had voices speaking in his mind. Never mind those voices being the ones of Xigbar, Vexen, and Cyax. Sir? Did she just call him sir? Anyway, apparently she called him sir. Lily's voice woke him up, and Xemnas took the voice's advice and told her he had done it. In a way, he had. Why? You're still very weak, Xemnas smiled. I'll manage. Lily giggled. I think this is the most you've spoken to me since we met. And I think this is the first time I've seen you in grape jelly. Again, more middle school humor. Gasping, Lily remembered the spill and saw her knees were purple. Sponging up the mess, Lily cursed herself for her absent-mindedness. Of course, it just ended up in a worse mess. How? What is she doing? Just playing in the jelly? Xemnas's low, sexual voice chuckled deeply, and he put his hand on hers. Blushing, the girl let Xemnas take care of the mess. Understand, this is a romantic moment where the two of them are kneeling on the floor in a flood of grape jelly. And this is a romantic scene. This is supposed to be romantic. This is what a 12-year-old thinks romance is. This is like a time capsule. Oh, God. So, does this mean I'll be hearing more from you? Lily couldn't help but joke. Finished with the mess, Xemnas gave her a sarcastic look. How does one look sarcastic? Okay. Ha ha. Standing, Xemnas rid himself of the rag, and Lily quickly picked up all the groceries. Sighing, she looked kindly upon her guest. I haven't had the time or money to fix this place up. You don't know how much it means to me. Thank you. Okay, so she has no time or money to get rid of glass shards? Oh, Lord. Xemnas looked back to see Lily's eyes lit up warmly and her cheeks flush. Oh yeah, big score! Way to go, big man! Who woulda thunk it? Go Superior, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Xemnas wasn't quite sure why it was his birthday, but maybe it had something to do with the warm feeling rising in his heart. After hearing from Axel, Zaldin, and Demix in that order, Xemnas decided he wasn't insane, simply haunted by his former subordinates. You're welcome. Life was much more appealing after Xemnas and Lily began talking to each other. Xemnas still couldn't leave the house or truly take care of himself, and Lily found the stress was getting to her. She was honored and embarrassed when Xemnas himself called into her work and requested she get a month's paid leave. When they said the only way she could leave was if she was fired, Xemnas told them that if they didn't do it, they'd wake the next morning missing their vital organs and two best friends. What? Lily came home from work with a smile. You did it. I can stay home. You've got me here all day to help you. Hey! Oh, God. You know what you want to do, big guy. Down, Xigbar, Xemnas chuckled in his mind, though the thought gave him a pleasurable feeling. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Lily smiled sadly. She hadn't told Xemnas the truth, that she was fired. A while ago, that would have worried the hell out of her, but seeing him smirking at her sitting there across the way made her feel like she would be safe, even if she had to live on the streets. Okay, so, plot of this story. The plot of this story is, girl finds a random man beat up in the street. Okay, she takes him home to try and help him. Cool. He never speaks to her, but they slowly fall in love. Then he gets her fired from her job, and she's cool with it because she loves him, the man that only just started speaking to her. This is romantic. This is so romantic. Of course, reality has a terrible way of smacking you in the face and kicking you when you're down. You know, that line's not that far from the truth. It was only 3 days after that Lily received the notice. She was being evicted. It was obvious why. Someone had reported her guest to the apartment owners. He's not a dog. He's a person. Why can't she have someone living in her house? I don't get it. Why? This is so manufactured drama. Other than Hayner and Cypher and the others, everyone seemed to truly hate her guest, which is why apparently she's being evicted. This is totally illegal. Oh, God. Xemnas found her at the kitchen table, rubbing her temples. Without even turning to him, she muttered, "I'm being evicted." Xemnas did not respond. He sat down across from her. "What for?" he asked. Lily laughed sadly. "I'm not sure." "Neither am I." The two were silent. Should he tell her the truth? If he did, he could take her to his home, to the castle in the world that never was. They could live together there, away from everyone. She could visit her friends, of course, and they could travel the universe by day and night, and they would return home and delight in each other's company until dawn. Who are you kidding? Xemnas sighed, rubbing his forehead in the same way Lily was. Lily noticed. What's wrong? Xemnas looked up at her. You don't even know my name, he began. Lily stood straighter. Look, Xemnas, in her orange-red eyes. Oh, God. Oh, no, this is so bad. Lily stood straighter. Look, Xemnas, in her orange-red eyes. Wrong pronoun, wrong tense. Oh, God. You haven't asked who I am or where I come from. For all you know, I could be capable of murder, or I could be a wanted criminal, a monster, or something of the like. Lily's eyes didn't change. They just watched him. You don't know anything about me, but you've trusted me and taken care of me, kept me here. Why? Xemnas seemed desperate for an answer, for an explanation of her odd demeanor. I was lonely. The answer didn't shock him. She did live a loner's life. Whatever that is. I don't really have anyone to talk to. Sure, I guess it's my fault, but I guess I wanted something different, something exciting, and you're a mystery to me, a puzzle that only I can solve. You're like something from a story, a mysterious man, wounded, saved by the average girl, a handsome, daring, bold, and dashing man. Did you hear that, Xemnas? She said dashing. Xemnas kept himself from rolling his eyes at Luxord's appearance in his mind, and continued listening to Lily. Sure, I don't know anything about you, but I feel like I've known you my whole life. I get lost I get lost in your eyes, and they tell me everything I need to know about you. I trust you with my life. Lily looked at Xemnas again. I'd follow you anywhere. Oh man, and now here's a litany of various members of the organization in his brain speaking to him. Yeah, baby, he did it. Yay, she likes you. Make a move, Xemnas. Don't lose this one, number one. Even I can see she adores you, Superior. You've got her, you dog! When you and this girl get nasty, I'm leaving. Congrats and all, but I'm leaving. Oh god, there's more! Xemnas couldn't help but grin. Lily looked him over. Xemnas stood and took Lily by the hand. He pulled her up and immediately backed her up against the kitchen wall. Fiercely, Xemnas covered her soft lips with his, and the girl gasped in shock. Oh god. In doing so, she opened her mouth, and there was no way Xemnas could pass that up. His tongue darted in. His tongue darted in, caressing hers, gently yet firmly exploring her mouth. Lily did not fight back, but she did not have a clue what to do either. She was moaning softly as Xemnas was making her melt, to the point where only his body was keeping her standing. Lily felt his mouth curve upward in a smirk as the girl shyly place her arms. I could not write tenses. As the girl shyly placed her arms around his neck, tangling them in her hair? Oh no! She wrapped her arms around his neck so far that she tangled her hands in her own hair, just like her. I'm crying. Xemnas placed his hand under her hair and pressed her gently upwards. He had better access? He had better access. She was tall, assuredly, but he was taller. Lily moaned even softer, but more frequent. She felt like she would die if it ever ended. As his hand caressed the small of her back, he leaned away, eyes bright and innocent. Lily watched him. He smelt of leather, and it smelt good. His forehead leaned against hers as his hand caressed her back. Xemnas, Lily woke up. Oh no, he said that. Xemnas. Lily woke up from her stunned state of mind. Xemnas laughed. My name is Xemnas. Lily blinked. It was a very beautiful name. Remember, she just learned his name. They've been in love for months, and she just learned his name. It's nice to meet you, Xemnas. He smirked dangerously. Shut up, he said. And she did as soon as his mouth took hers again. He couldn't believe it. He had done it, and she had gone along with it. Not enjoyed it, not kissed him back. Gone along with it. Like, I could take it or leave it. He had kissed her. They had stood there making out for quite a while. Between kisses, he would pass information to her. Slowly and surely, he told her everything about himself. First with words, then with actions. What does that mean? Eventually, they ended up at the table, where Xemnas sat with Lily resting in his lap. That was where she asked him one question about everything. Where are you allies? Not where are you allies? Oh god. That was something Xemnas had not thought of. He had, oddly enough, heard their voices in his head, but were they alive? Was he simply delirious? I don't know. Lily smiled. Maybe we could find them, together. Xemnas' eyes bulged. Lily giggled. Do you seriously think I want to stay here? I'm being evicted. I don't have anywhere to go. I want to go with you, this stranger whose name I just met. He couldn't believe it. When had his life gotten so good? Thank you so much. This means everything to me. Lily blushed and looked down. Xemnas gently forced her to look at him. Then he took her into another kiss, without tongue. He took her into another kiss, without tongue, and somehow passed a message into her mind? They're psychic now? They're psychic now? I love you. Lily giggled in the kiss, light as air, happier than ever before, and she sent a message back. I love you evermore. It was a good thing Lily was too distracted by the kiss to hear anything, or else she'd have heard a lot of cheering, whistling, and catcalling from the back of Xemnas' mind. There's an author's note. Oh god, there's an author's note. Hi there, the authoress here. Okay, I know. I love you evermore is weird, but isn't it better than I love you too? For some reason, I feel like that's just very impersonal. As corny as evermore is, it's better than two. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I would love to write a sequel if you want one. I will make another if you message or review or such. Thank you for reading, and I hope you enjoyed. Oh god. Oh god. Oh lord. There is more. There's 15, I think, in this whole... I wrote one for each character in the organization, and they are all so cringy. There's multiple ones that are so much worse. I wrote one where Vexen falls in love with a girl that I portrayed as crazy. Like, literally, I tried to write, like, a Sunshine of the Spotless Mind character at 12, and it's horrifying. Oh, it's so bad. And I'm pretty sure I made Marluxia gay, because of course I did. Of course. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Zexion. Zexion's is a girl from Halloween Town. Because of course. And Demix. All I remember about Demix's was for some reason there was an escape from a hospital where he rode on a hospital bed out of a window out a 20-story building. That's all I remember. I remember that. Oh, and a girl put on a football helmet in a subway. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's my response to all of this. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, that's... Both of those things were in the Demix one. That one was a little wild. Yeah, rode out a window on a hospital bed. That's the thing that happened. I don't remember why. Oh, man. They all got wild. Some of them I remember. I remember that the character in the second one with Zigbar was a dancer who was in a tragic accident, so she ended up in a wheelchair, and she was really bitter about it because she had been a dancer. And I don't know how well I approached themes of disability, but I was 12 and I tried. The third one was a little girl, not a little girl, like a 16-year-old named Bebe, who I kind of loved as a character, but I probably shouldn't have written a 16-year-old to date Zolden. Who was the fifth? The fifth one was a gym teacher with the Alexius guy. And then the sixth one was Zexion with the girl from Halloween Town. Seventh one was a werewolf. The seventh one was a werewolf. Bye, Ariel. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I don't know why of all of them I gave Zolden the child. Like, that's just, I mean, it's most, I think Demix and Axel might be, but I mean, I was like 12. I had no idea. I didn't understand a thing. And then, okay, 7 was a werewolf. 8 was an artist. And it was the first time I ever actually got a hate review for a fanfic. And funny enough, that we called them Flames. I don't know why they were called that, but they were called Flames. And it was for Axel, the fire guy, and I called it the something dancing flame or something. And I have a feeling that's the only reason I got the angry review was because somebody probably like Google searched and it was just mad hating on everybody randomly. Anyway, number 9 was the girl from the subway. I don't know what she was, a person. 10 was a pirate. 11 was Marluxia, was the gay guy. 12 was a dude who I think was a gambler for some reason. Why am I thinking that? I don't know. I got really weird towards the end. And then I honestly don't remember what I did with Roxas and Naminé, and I skipped Zayon entirely because she didn't exist when I started writing this. It was wild. Yeah, some of them really, you could tell I was just kind of like, I wanted to do them all, so I did, and not all of them were great. Some of them I actually remember really enjoying, but again, I wrote these when I was very young. I think I finished it in high school, so there's a bit of a quality increase, but not that much. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. This one was a bit shorter. Next week, we will be back with the Silent Hill and Final Fantasy crossover, Final Hell, which I wrote in high school. That'll be great. That one's gonna be a little, it'll be, I think it's 12 chapters, so it'll be a while before, we finish that one. But, after that, we'll go back to the table and take a look at a bunch of different options and pick something new. Be sure to check me out on social media. I'm on Facebook. There's a Discord group. We have a lot of fun. You can go to my website and purchase my books. They're buy one, get one, 25% off right now. And they are super cool, if I do say so myself. You can also support the channel through donations, through memberships, where you get a bunch of extra bonus stuff, like free copies of books, special streams, anime watch parties, all kinds of stuff. And I'm working on updating that. And that is it. Oh, well, thanks for watching, Tweak. I'm glad that you enjoyed your first stream. These are quite fun. We'll be back next Friday with another one. I'm going to stream Pokemon next. Probably give me like 30 minutes to get set up, and then we will start that. But yeah, that is everything, and I will see you guys at like 5:30 for Pokemon. I almost said Sun. It's not that one. It's Sword. That's the one we're on. Yep. Bye.